What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Marvel's Spider-Man 2. What's going on with this game? Now, this is not a negative video. This is simply part of my series that I've been doing on the channel where I'm taking a look at different games or franchises and just kind of seeing what's up to date with it, where we could be going with it over the, I guess, technically the second half of the year, right now that we've kind of crossed over. So, for Spider-Man 2, the question is rather simple. Will we see it again, the second half of the year? That's really where I want to have this discussion be, because really over the last half year, we haven't gotten too much. In fact, it feels like we've gotten more stuff for like Wolverine, like we could kind of track down that they were filming, like they started doing the motion capture for Wolverine. So it's almost like we've gotten a little bit more on that game than Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, I'm sure, is going absolutely fine. We do know, I think there is motion capture and like facial things going on, like with Venom and stuff, right? We know that stuff has been going on, is going on. So again, the question really is, will we see it the second half of the year? I think the odds are probably high, and it's really because of how Sony is doing things. Because Sony seems to only want to do one show this year, just like they did last year, in September, that is their chance to do, like, actually not even just chance, that is their opportunity. They have to. Anything they need to get out there, they're gonna have to do to a good degree there. Of course, you have your Jeff Keighley shows, but I guess the reason why I say that is because Spider-Man 2, where would we see it? Well, it can't be at Gamescom, right? Sony's not going, so it's immediately out. Obviously, the PlayStation Showcase is definitely possible. Then you'd have the Game Awards. Now, it wouldn't be impossible. Sony has had huge things be announced, been shown, all that kind of stuff at Jeff Keighley shows in the past, so Game Awards would definitely make sense. But I feel like for a game as gigantic as Spider-Man, if you could make it work in your showcase, that would be fine. We have a history to look at where obviously Sony has shown, kind of trailers periodically for Spider-Man, the first game, leading into its release. So I really don't think it would be all that far-fetched at all if we saw some sort of, I would say you have to introduce some sort of gameplay element, though. You'd probably want to show that this fall. If you did that this fall, say at the PlayStation Showcase in September, if it even happens in September, right? Technically, we don't know. But if you did that, I mean, the game ideally comes out next fall. Obviously, Spider-Man 2018 came out in September. I'd imagine they probably would want to keep it around the same. Sony really doesn't do that many, like, October, November releases. Historically, even over the last, 10 or so years, they don't do all that many. I think Uncharted 3 was in November, but there's not that many. Death Stranding, I think, was around that time. And there's not too many that came out in that period. So, by the time we see it, if we see it at PlayStation Showcase, we'll have a year left, 1 year. And in that year, I would imagine it kind of goes relatively quick in terms of the stuff they show. Every couple months, you come out, you show something, you go dark again, you come back out, you show something, you go dark, and you just, repeat that, a couple times, and bam, you're there. You're back next fall, and we're ready to go for the game. So I think it makes sense. You could even look at it in a different way where, like, if they don't show it at this PlayStation Showcase, of course, Game Awards is an option, but when would be the next time they show it? Well, again, based off of the history of Sony, it seems like they may only want to do one show a year and do it in September, right? There's been rumors that PlayStation Experience will come back, which, again, I'd really, really want, but let's say everything stays the same. Next year, 2023, their big show would most likely be the second half of 2023, more specifically the fall, and that's when that game would come out. It would really have a similar-ish problem, actually it would have the exact same problem, potentially, as God of War Ragnarok. Like, the reason why everybody's so into Ragnarok being shown now, and by the way, I'm recording this video early. I don't know if Ragnarok got a release date or whatever, so I'm behind the time, when recording. But the reason why there was so much excitement or thought that God of War Ragnarok could be shown in June, or let's even say early July, is because you can't show it at a PlayStation Showcase in September if it releases in September, right? You can't. Because for a bigger Sony game, you always give at least 2 months notice between here's the release date and then the day comes and you can buy the game, or the game comes out. It's normally 2, 3 or so months, okay? At least 2, though. So you can't have a PlayStation Showcase and show God of War in that showcase and have God of War come out the week later. It doesn't happen. It won't happen. Spider-Man would honestly face a similar problem if if it did that, right? Because if it doesn't get shown at all, well, when's the next time you show it? Again, you could show it on your own. You could do a state of play specific to it. You could show Spider-Man again next year at Summer Game Fest, right? Next June for Jeff Keighley's show. There's times, I'm sure Spider-Man 2 probably will show up in some of these shows, right? That probably will happen. But in terms of this big, the second showing, the first time we see gameplay, right? It's going to be a big deal to be able to see, Miles and Peter swinging around, battling, all that stuff. Maybe we see a different villain. Maybe we see Venom in action, whatever. That's a big deal. You probably want to do that at your own thing. And so again, I think that's another way of looking at it. If you don't show it in September, yes, December is obviously for the Game Awards. That's a good time. That's a real good fallback plan, like backup plan. It's a really good one. But after that, you don't really have much, so maybe this September is the most likely thing. I think it is. So hopefully we're only a couple months away. Now again, when they show it again, I fully expect it to go dark. One more time, maybe one more time in a like a big group, right, where maybe it goes dark for like 3-4 months, then it comes back, and then maybe like every month or so you get kind of additional details, or every 2 months. But I think we got one more like period of darkness ahead for where they don't talk much about it right after they show it, this upcoming time. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's going to be shown, the second half of the year, Game Awards, PlayStation Showcase? Let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow or support me anywhere else, all my social media, including our Patreon and YouTube memberships, are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.